Deja vu is one of the most interesting things that happens to us because to someone outside of your mind, nothing happens. Yet internally, it can feel so strong at a time when it's least expected.
You are watching Disrupt.
"18 volunteers were given 24 common words. Then they were hypnotized." Now, hypnosis doesn't work for everyone, but in this case, the participants were likely prone to suggestion, which makes them prone to hypnosis, in which a person loses the power of voluntary action.
Now, you're fully wide awake.
Yes.
You're not in some weird sort of zombie-like state or whatever people think hypnosis is.
No.
And they're genuinely stuck, aren't they?
Yeah, when I try to move my hands, my arms are just like, nope, not having it. I'm sticking together and I can feel them pushing.
The volunteers were then told, while in the state, that when they were next presented with a word in a red frame, they would feel as if the word was familiar. And that when they were presented with a word in a green frame, it was a word that was originally a part of the 24 common words. The volunteers were then taken out of the hypnosis and shown a series of words in red, green, and other colored frames. Out of the 18 people tested, 10 reported a peculiar sensation when they saw words in red frames, and 5 out of those 10 reported that it felt like deja vu. So while the study is interesting, it's difficult to know if this is hard evidence as to the recreation of the phenomena, because it could be that some of the people reporting the feeling are just highly suggestive, right? To me, it still doesn't fully explain why we can experience it within seemingly randomized situations that happen in day-to-day life. In this study, volunteers were put into VR headsets and teleported into multiple scenes. Those scenes were spatially the same, but with different props and 3D models within them. Some of the participants didn't realize that the layouts were the same. They assumed that with a change in 3D models and set design, the layout had also changed. Those participants were more likely to report feelings of familiarity. In the same study, the participants viewed a video, this time on a flat screen that showed a first-person perspective of the layouts. So the first video would show walking into a subway station, looking right, taking one step forward, then glancing left. So the second video would show walking into a bowling alley with the same layout of the subway station, looking right, taking one step forward, then cutting off. So some of the subjects reported that they were able to predict what the next turn would be. They said it would go left. Others thought the next turn would go right. The organizer of the experiment said the results were no better than if the people had just chosen at random, saying maybe this happens because what they're experiencing feels familiar, so they're mistaking that feeling for confirming evidence that they are correct in the direction of the next step. All in all, the simple fact that we can create controlled studies like this by utilizing technology to create spatial worlds in which we interact with it much like the physical world may help us on our journey to understanding why the brain feels familiarity in unique situations. A running theory is that when the brain attempts to sort long-term versus short-term memories, like when entering a new situation, there may be information that wouldn't necessarily be worth memorizing for the long term. But nevertheless, sometimes the brain may short circuit, right? And then send that information directly to long-term memory zone, which induces the feeling. Another theory says it may be associated with false memories, a memory that feels real but isn't, like failing to remember if something happened in your childhood versus if it happened in your childhood dream. However, a study using fMRI to scan participants as they experienced a lab-induced déjà vu like the ones previously mentioned showed something else. When they looked upon the brains, they didn't see a triggering of the hippocampus, an area of the brain that would light up if the feeling was linked to false memories. Instead, they found areas of the brain that are involved in active decision-making. They said this may mean that our brain is attempting to figure out how to resolve what it perceives to be conflict. Not that it's creating false memories. So in other words, the brain may be flipping through past memories that are similar to the current déjà vu situation in an attempt to search for any information that we've previously experienced so that it can figure out how to navigate forward. Some systems of thought believe the phenomena is literally experiencing the past in the present, like memories from a past life and a present life, combining. Or that when it is experienced, the individual is on the right path of electricity is everywhere. Our cells are specialized to conduct electrical currents. Our nervous system uses electricity to send signals throughout the body and to the brain. So there's a thought that multiplayer déjà vu can be experienced when two people have a synchronization of the electrical currents or frequency in their nervous system. All right, so this last one is a little more abstract and out there, but the basic premise is visualized in a radio. There are multiple radio stations that exist at any given point, right? One is playing mariachi music. The other is playing jazz. Yet with a single radio, we can only tune in to one station at a time. Now, if the two separate radio stations were to play the same exact song at the same exact time, they would be in sync. This idea is carried over to quantum mechanics in the following way. Our body is made up of atoms, right? And those atoms are vibrating. If there are indeed parallel realities, it could be assumed that we are vibrating at a slightly different frequency than those realities, because if they were vibrating at the same frequency, they would just be this reality. But at times, our vibrations may sync up to the parallel universe on the right, which produces a sudden feeling of déjà vu. Obviously, though, this is just a theoretical theory. It can't be proven. It's interesting to think about, though, and at the very least, déjà vu is one of the most interesting things that happens to us because to someone outside of your mind, nothing happens. Yet internally, it can feel so strong at a time when it's least expected.
Déjà vu.
Okay.
Okay. Can you describe what life was like before?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Sorry, it's just kind of,
Take your time.
Okay. It was about like 3 months ago. I was watching a series. I honestly can't even remember the name of it. But I was like really into it, you know? Before I knew it, I had finished season 3, and I went to start season 4, but it wasn't there. It was like, it was just grayed out.
Sorry, Ken. What do you mean grayed out?
Yeah, no, I could see it right there, but it was just, I couldn't click it. It was like grayed out, you know? So I started Googling, like, is this season available? You know, has it been released in my country? Turns out, yeah, no, they released it last year, but for some reason my streaming service that I pay monthly for, you know, they didn't have it on there. They didn't have it available in my country.
Did you try VPN?
Sorry, what?
A VPN.
What is that?
A VPN is. Как ты скажешь?
Программа.
It's a program that you download and it hides your IP address so you can unlock all streaming libraries from other countries.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How do I get it?
You can go to Surfshark Deals. Disrupt to get 4 months for free plus 84% off using the code
I'm
Disrupt.
sorry, four, did you say 4 months free?
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. I'll be right back.
Once in my life happened a thing where I stupidly went over the road when there was a red light, and I walked, and I remember there was a truck that came, and in another life I got hit by the truck, and I don't know, but in this world I didn't. But I still remember getting hit by the truck. So I just want to know what happened to me who got hit by the truck. Thank you.
Well, first off, I'm very happy, Valtteri, that you did not get hit by the truck. That sounds intense. I think that's what that's what sets us apart from monkeys, from dogs, from cats. We can conceptualize the different routes that our life may take, the different routes that our decisions may take. I've had similar experiences where I almost get like flashes of the consequences of a decision, and it usually takes the form of a car crash. So it's interesting. Maybe there are multiple lives floating out there. But to bring it back to Earth, I bring this up because I've been using this specific app that I want to share with you guys. It's called the Wim Hof Method app, and you can, I'm not sponsored, but you can, there's basically like this guided bubble, and it gives you rhythmic breathing, 30 rounds of in and out deeply, and then you hold your breath, and you can actually enter an altered state through this without the use of any drugs. But I bring this up because I found when I'm in that state, the world fades around, and then you can begin to sort of go down these different pathways that reflect the decisions that you may take. It's sort of obviously like a deeper level of just abstract thinking on the surface level that we have throughout the day. But the rhythmic breathing, I think, calms all of the other thoughts in a much easier way, I found, than just sitting there and trying to close the eyes and meditate or focus on the breathing. This is almost like a jump start to reach those states. So if you're interested in it.
You gotta go. How you know? Feel what? Let me see that too.